I'm Fawad.
And I'm Sajda Qureshi, and we welcome you to the most exciting live show Qtrix, which is brought to you by ILMA University in collaboration with Rotary International District 3271, powered by Numan Group of Companies. Qtrix aims to bring the world top-notch CEOs, presidents, directors, chancellors, vice chancellors, rectors, researchers, and from the academia and industry in front to speak out hot button issues related to quality trends and new direction in the post-COVID-19 digitech world.
Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's show is digital teaching and learning environment. And our today's guest is one of the leading industrialists and academicians of the world. She is the 8th president of INQAAHE and CEO and executive director of QM Quality Matters, which is one of the most renowned companies in US importing digital teaching and learning facilities. Before starting our conversation with her, let's watch a short profile video of her and we'll be right back.
She grew up in South Florida and is a highly effective nonprofit leader, keynote speaker and presenter with 30-plus years of experience in online education, quality assurance and teaching with publication of number of research papers and book chapters with core competencies of strategic planning, staff recruitment and development and financial management. She started her academic journey with associate degree in arts from Broward College, Florida in 1980 and completed her Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Boston University, Massachusetts with magna cum laude in 1982. She joined U.S. Army 66th Military Intelligence Brigade in 1984 where she completed her diploma with honors intensive and basic course of instruction in Russian language from Defense Language Institute, California in 1985 followed by electronic warfare, signal intelligence analyst course from USAF Cryptologic Training School. Having a thirst for knowledge, she continued her academic journey and completed her Master of Science with majors in management from the University of Arizona in 1992 followed by Doctorate of Philosophy and Management from the University of Arizona in 1997. She served world-class academic institutions at various teaching and administrative positions and joined Calvert County Literacy Council Incorporated for 2 years as executive director. Later, she joined management consulting firm as president and managing partner in the name of Adair, Vonk, at ILMA Incorporated in 1990 to provide consulting services in the U.S. and abroad to small and medium-sized businesses across a variety of industries. In 2007, she joined a bootstrapped startup in the name of QM Quality Matters Incorporated as managing director and chief planning officer, and later as executive director, and expanded its program of quality assurance for digital education to serve approximately 1,500 colleges and universities, education-related organizations, corporations, government, and K-12 institutions in the U.S. and 30 other countries. She is current member of International Advisory Committee, IAC, for e-learning, Saudi Arabia while has served various other platforms in the capacity of advisor. Her focus towards community service made her served at different positions for community service organizations and was bestowed upon with various awards and citations that include Noflet Williams Award, Broward College Distinguished Alumni Merit Award, Women's Recognition Award, State of Maryland Governor's Citation, Senate of Maryland's Official Citation, Senate of Maryland Resolution, Maryland House of Delegates Resolution, Calvert County Board of Commissioners Proclamation, Certificates of Achievement and Maxwell Detailer Award from U.S. Army. She is currently serving as Executive Director QM Quality Matters Incorporated and President International Network for Quality Assurance Agencies in Higher Education, INQAAHE, where she provides governance and leadership for the Board of Directors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Deb Adair.
Let's welcome Dr. Deb Adair. Hello, doctor. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you, and thank you very much for inviting me to come on.
Deb, we are extremely honored and grateful for you for taking out the time and being us with the show. And we are actually quite excited and hopeful that this show will help all the fraternity out there to learn from your experience and ABCs of the reimagined education.
Now, moving forward, uh, let's move to our today's topic, that is a digital teaching and learning environment. And Dave, we seek your permission to start the question answer session so that the whole world gets to know the latest trends and best practices that we at institutional level, at an individual level, should follow to get the education at par. Now, moving forward,
Yes.
Dave, our today's topic is digital teaching and learning environment. And I seek your permission to start the question answer session so that the
Please.
entire fraternity gets to know about the latest trends and best practices, as well as the challenges that we are encountering related to the quality in academia and industry.
Please, yes.
Thank you, Dave. Dave, my first question is that you being the president of INQAAHE, what is the actual vision of INQAAHE and how it is contributing to the globe in terms of providing and enhancing the quality of education out there?
Thank you, Fawad. Well, INQAAHE is it's a network of quality assurance agencies and quality cells within institutions, and it's really through the network that INQAAHE provides support and guidance. So we support capacity building among members and seek to enhance the relevance and impact of quality assurance globally. And we do that through a variety of mechanisms, that including things like creating guidelines and reviewing alignment against those guidelines, through funding schemes for the members, through conferences, forums, webinars, and other venues to share best practices, through research, through training, and through consulting. But really, it's the collaboration through that network that's most important.
True that. So, as we talked about INQAAHE, now how quality, QM quality matters, contributing to digital teaching and learning environment, keeping in view the quality parameters.
Yeah, so the work that we've been doing with Quality Matters, we've been doing this for the last 15 years, and we've been supporting institutions, actually K through 20, so both elementary, secondary, tertiary institutions, and also some corporations and government entities. But we've been supporting them with a broader quality assurance framework for digital teaching and learning. And within that, we also provide tools for professional development for faculty and staff, course design and quality evaluation tools that can lead to course and program certification. So at this point, we work with about 1,500 mostly academic institutions, K-20 in 30 countries.
Wow. That's amazing. And what type of learning system is better, like the traditional one, online or blended? Which mode do you prefer for the adult learners?
Well, I think you could probably guess that I would say none of them are better, absolutely. So it really depends on the affordances of each modality. So my recommendation would be to design the student learning experience that you want for your students, and then choose the modalities that best serve those particular objectives for those students. As for adult learners, I think they tend to have very busy lives with work and family. And so it's really the logistical benefits of online education that work well for them because it fits into their lifestyle. But so it's what we're seeing actually is many traditional students, on-campus students, are starting to more and more request some online opportunities because they too have busy schedules, even if it's a different kind of thing. So really, it's all about choosing the right modality, teaching modality for what you want to achieve and for those particular students' situation.
True that. And we have also seen an experience that those people, those adult learners who are again at the work site, they want for the both. Like they also
Both.
request for the online sessions too.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Moving to the next question, I actually went through the CLOE reports that QM Quality Matters is publishing since quite a few years. So I was really impressed by looking at those reports, and those reports really address the latest issues, the challenges, the trends in online teaching and learning. So, how did you reach to that idea of publishing CLOE report? It's a basically research report, what I have seen, and how this report is being compiled by obviously the team members of your QM Quality Matters. And what does the latest report that is being published by QM Quality Matters say about current challenges in online teaching and learning?
So thank you for that question, Fawad. And we have been doing these reports annually in collaboration with EduVentures since 2016. And really, EduVentures is like a market research and advisory company in the field. And we had, prior to 2016, there was an annual survey done by another organization. And really, it was about numbers of online students and the growth of online education, and it was chronicling that movement. And they stopped those publications for a while, and so we saw the need, and so we worked with EduVentures to fill that. And so we are now in the middle of fielding CLOE 7, so our 7th survey is out in the field now. And we're waiting for those responses. And the CLOE surveys actually cover more than just the numbers of students in online. It covers everything from online enrollment to quality assurance to professional development for faculty and plans for managing online education. And it's a good representation of what is happening in online learning in the United States, and can be a valuable resource for the international community as well, just to see what's happening in the US. And some of the things that we have found in the CLOE 6 report was that, looking back, that was CLOE 6 was 2021. So looking back on 2020 when the pandemic hit, we saw that more than 80% of institutions delivered either fully online or emergency remote learning courses, and those who weren't already doing that moved them very quickly online, as I think you're probably aware. And the chief online officers that we've been surveying expect online learning to grow post-pandemic, with noting that the pandemic, while it supercharged the mainstreaming of online education, it did blur the line between what we would consider true planned quality high online education and what is remote delivery. So when we asked these online officers whether this emergency remote learning had actually elevated the priority of online learning in the coming years, 86% said at their institutions there was either an increased priority or a much greater priority for online learning.
That's great. That's great. So, are there any similar reports being published in the world, like CLOE reports? And are you taking those reports data as a primary data while you are compiling your report?
So we have the CLOE reports are a survey of chief online officers. We're not integrating other survey data for it, but we do have we do have a broad advisory team for that report that actually includes the authors of the original report that we were following before, and they have gone on to do some other work that we do pay attention to. So in that way, through the advisors, it does inform the work that we do. But I think, as you probably know, that there is a lot more attention now to online education and remote education. And so there are numerous publications, but they're not directly influencing Chloe.
Okay. So as Chloe, consider for the online education only, as your surveys are based on all these online education, what do you think the online education is a disruptive innovation? Do you agree with that?
I would have to say yes, in a sense. And it's interesting because we have been doing this work, as I said, for the last 15 years. It's not new to us. But in this, for higher education and for secondary education too, it is disruptive in the sense that all of our educational structures and the processes we've put in place and policies, they've all been developed over time around the face-to-face or on-campus student. And it is embedded in the way we do business in higher education. And all of that needs to be rethought for online education. And it's hard to do that well when you're inside the institution, in a traditional institution. It's hard to do that well without the right people and experienced people. So it's really about the way, it's more than just about the technology, right, that's used to teach, although that's disruptive for many faculty having to make that switch, but it's also about those policies, practices, staffing, resource availability, the training and orientation for faculty and students, and all of those things that make it hard to do this work. So it is disruptive.
So one of the recent trend and the ongoing discussion area is about the inclusive education. COVID-19 has exposed the cracks and inequities that exist for vulnerable students. So why it is important to provide an inclusive education during remote learning? And what do you think are the factors that need to be taken into account by an institution as far as the inclusive education is concerned?
So I'm going to take that question very broadly and say, first I'll call out the difference between emergency remote learning and planned online learning. And a lot of what we learned about these the problems about access and inclusivity are probably things we should have known, but prior to the pandemic, students weren't forced online. They chose whether they were prepared to go online, and that changed with the pandemic. So some of what had we were able to see, maybe we should have known before, but it did highlight these issues. And the second thing I wanted to say was, these issues of access and preparedness for learning at a distance, at one level, it's a national level policy issue for countries to think about things like broadband access and access to the internet, and what kinds of national policies would help promote that, because obviously it's not just about education in that sense, but also for.
All right. So moving forward to the next question, it's about digital education incubator. Research says that digital incubation is required at institutional level to nurture innovative ideas and approaches in digital education. That includes online courses, lifelong learning portals, and digital infrastructure. So how does this being looked after by INQAAHE as well as by QM Quality Matters? What do you say about this?
Well, I would say that having a digital education incubator is not necessary to do this work well, but it certainly does help some of the very real barriers that I was actually just speaking about earlier. Because the things that have to really be changed and improved to support online education is hard to do when you're inside the institution with the status quo. And so it's if you want to think about it this way, it's like a change management process to get those things changed. And that's the luxury of a digital education incubator is you have the ability to design from the beginning. So it's purpose built for online education, but that's a luxury most institutions are not going to be able to afford. So if we're working from where we are and start trying to create quality online programs and online education, we have to think about how we intentionally redesign the learning experience for the students. And then what does that mean for the support we provide or the policies that we put in place? And so starting with the learning experience you're trying to craft and then begin to work backwards to fix those policies. It's just that cultures and structures are difficult to change from the inside.
True that. Linking with that, Deb, I would ask, although our students are using technology in their personal lives, and they may not yet have been developed the awareness, dispositions, or skills to be responsible as well as ethical digital citizens. So are we making our students and teachers a digital citizen going through the digital learning?
No, that's a very, very big question you just asked me. And it's actually a very important issue that it's bigger than just education too, right? We all have to be digital citizens. So my question would be, how are we doing that at the societal level? As we use these digital technologies to communicate to each other, and there's as I'm sure you've seen, many bad practices out there in social media and other places. But the issues, there are issues here from accessibility to things like data privacy and security to how students or any of us evaluate and curate information and to ethical decision making. And so educators very definitely have a role to play to help inform students, but this is something we share with everybody in society at the need to do that.
True, and we also faced lot of ethical issues when we started going from the physical to online education. Linking with that, I have another question. As we know that the role of the faculty is in nurturing the student, and that has remained very significant. So how do you think, what is the role of faculty in developing and delivering the online education?
Mm-hmm. So I would say the role of the faculty is absolutely critical, and it's actually gotten broader and deeper for online education. Many people still think online education is something where you build a course, you put it online, and students go in on their own and take this course. And that's not good practice. And I have spoken to many students, especially during the pandemic, and when they tell you they haven't seen their instructor in that course all semester and the instructor hasn't engaged, that's a problem. So students need faculty to be present, even in the virtual classroom. It doesn't have to be synchronous at the same time, but they have to have a presence in that classroom and they have to be engaging with students. And faculty are going to need to be engaged at some level in the development of online courses. They may, and it's probably best for them to have support from staff like instructional designers who are the professionals who know how to do that well. But they need to be involved in even the development and design of those courses, and they especially need to be actively teaching them.
Actually, Deb, I have seen a lot of lectures that you have delivered related to faculty role in online teaching, and those are very elaborative, and I really appreciate the research that you bring in those lectures. And ILMA University is also initiating to share those lectures that you have delivered at the universities with the faculty member in the
Wonderful.
auditorium so that they can learn about the latest practices, the trends, the challenges that you and your company, QM Quality Matters, has done a lot of research about that. So this is very important. And ladies and gentlemen, I must say that the universities in the developing countries must take benefit from the lectures that Deb has delivered and the research in the Chloe reports. And all the fraternity should share these lectures with their faculty as well as with their students so that they can learn and benefit from those lectures. So, Dave, I really appreciate you for the work that you are doing, and I'm really impressed with the research that you bring about to the fraternity in terms of quality. Uh, Dave, there is another important area that is in focus right now, and that is the current quality assurance and institutional effectiveness needs to be redefined in terms of providing quality online education because partially and previously we used to do different type of surveys because we were having a physical mode of delivery as far as the education is concerned. But now the things have moved to because shifted to online mode. So what do you think are the surveys and evaluations that are required from faculty, students, staff, parents, and the other public figures so that we can redefine the quality assurance and institutional effectiveness. Uh, what is your idea about that?
So I want to answer this in two parts. One is specifically about feedback and where it should come from, but also in terms of what institutions should do internally to set up the whole quality assurance process. We've recently just gone through a sort of a very deep and broad mapping exercise about all of the units on campus and the structures, the people, the communications, the structures and policies that all need to be in place and communicating to develop what is quality education. And it is complex and it is it's very robust. And so, and it really requires leadership on the part of the institution. The leaders of the institution have to be committed and engaged, and it has to be aligned to the institution's strategies, right, and the goals that they have for the students. But part of that is the feedback from stakeholders, and that's a critical part of the process. And those are, obviously students and faculty, but the governing bodies, the employers, accreditors, advisors, all of that feedback is critical. But the important thing is that it's being used within that internal quality assurance process so that you're taking this data from multiple sources, from the feedback and from the surveys, but also from the data that the institution is producing about teaching and learning. And it's being evaluated against the goals and objectives. And then you have to use that actually to make change in the institution, right? It's not enough just to gather the data and to analyze it, but use it to make continuous change. And that's really the critical piece, is what you do with all of that feedback and data and how the institution begins to change itself to provide better quality learning.
Right.
All right, should I move
Yeah.
towards my next segment, Dave? We have a rapid fire round in which we'll see your, quick answers.
Okay.
In that, we'll explore your personal side. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right.
This will be the most exciting part of this show, by the way.
Yes. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Three things. I get coffee, which I haven't had yet this morning, feed animals, feed our pets, and check email. I have to see what's coming at me for the day.
Okay.
I have to look through it.
Sorry for that we didn't let you have your cup of
It's okay.
So the coffee is due on our part, Dave, whenever
Okay.
you visit Pakistan.
Okay. Okay. Which book are you reading these days?
I'm actually reading 3 at the same time. It's just how I do these. I'm reading Wheel of Time, The Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison, and The Great Upheaval. It's about the changing higher education landscape
Okay.
by
That's
Arthur
great.
Levine.
Wow, that's perfect. The last good TV show you watched?
I'm going to take a pass on this question because you put the word good in there and I'm not sure.
All right. Moving forward. Most influential person in your life?
I would honestly say that has to be my husband. I have been with him for 35 years. We've raised 3 children together, and he is the person that I check in with about things.
Wow, that's great. And one piece of technology that you cannot live without?
So I would, it seems simple, but it's my iPhone for everything except for using it as a telephone. It's important.
Oh,
So that means there behind every successful woman there are 2 things. One is the iPhone and the other one is the husband.
Well, and coffee. You missed coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
okay. All right. Deb, if you got a do-over in your life, and what would that be?
I wouldn't do a do-over because, I try to engage in the here and now, and even bad experiences are part of your journey and part of who you become, and maybe you wouldn't be here now in the place you are if you hadn't had that bad experience. So no do-overs.
Oh, wow, that's perfect. Okay, what is your biggest strength?
I would just say persistence.
Oh,
Just keeping at it. Yeah.
That is the key to your success, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Are you a sports person?
Not if you mean actually playing sports, no. I'm a casual observer, yes.
All right.
Me too. All right. Your favorite color to wear?
Navy blue is my favorite color, even though I'm wearing black and light blue.
We haven't seen any picture of yours in navy blue. So in the next session, we'll put on that even.
Okay.
One destination you would wish to travel?
You sent me this one ahead of time, and I've been thinking about it. I can't. It's not just one. There are so many places that I have never been and would like to see. So I have a whole list. There are whole continents that I've not been to.
Oh.
So
I wish you good luck for that. So are you a good mother, a good wife, or a perfect professional?
I would say yes to that to that question. It's not a global trade-off. I would not say I'm a perfect professional, though. Perfect is not my goal, but I wouldn't choose between the 3 because they're all important roles for me.
Okay, cool.
So, Dave, my question is, what is the tip to be a balanced person, because you are a leader as well as you are a woman businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance both these capacities? What is the tip?
I guess I would say not take yourself too seriously, to keep moving forward. I think in my personal trajectory in life it's not a straight path. It was not a straight path for me. And there are many different paths to your goals. And it's not always what you think they're going to be or the path you thought you would take in life. But if you're willing to make adjustments and reevaluate and continue forward and not give up and be persistent, just keep going, and I think that's more important than anything. And for online and digital education, honestly, I've just been around it a long time. So people keep seeing my face, and so I keep getting invited to things. That's what it is.
That's great.
All right. One last question. When are we seeing you at Forbes top individuals list?
I probably not, but if you want to put in a good word for me, I would appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Our words are with you, Deb.
Okay, good.
Okay, now that ends the rapid fire section, and Dave, I really enjoyed the answers that you gave. And my next, the most important thing is that what message would you like to give to the faculty of ILMA University, and how should they proceed now post COVID-19 scenario? And what vision should they have in their mind? What level do they need to set to enhance the quality of education? So, what message would you like to give to them?
For both, I think, the faculty and students.
Yes, in different
Yeah.
parts.
Okay, yes. So I think I would say, to recognize that change is hard, but you're not losing anything by moving forward, and it's important to stay open-minded about how you do the work that you've always done. I used to be a traditional on-campus, face-to-face professor. And I still remember the first time I had to teach online. It's painful. It's difficult. It's a different way to think about learning and engaging. But it can be just as effective. It can be more effective. Like I said at the very beginning, there are affordances for this. So it just means it is just necessary to try to educate yourself about best practices, to ask for help from people who know how to do these things and how to do them well, and keep continually improving, to make, even if there's small steps, try something new, evaluate it, see how it goes for you, and then continue to move forward, because this is the future. Not everything is going to be online, obviously. That's not going to be the only way education will be delivered, but there's so many opportunities, and wouldn't you want to do that for your students or for yourself? So that's, I've never met a faculty member who didn't want to do the right thing by their students, and this is the right thing.
And Deb, I really like the words that you use, that you said very rightly that it should be now a national level objective to provide good internet and technology resources to the citizens of the country, so that this thing can move on as with the best practices and in a smoother way. So you said
Yes.
it very rightly.
So now we are at the end of our show. Thank you, Dave, for the wonderful conversation. And we are sure that the new direction and food of thought will be developed after this show.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
what is your feedback about the show? Because I really feel glad to tell you that today is the first episode of Qtrix, and you are the
Oh,
first
really?
guest of
Wow.
Qtrix of ILMA University, and this will be marked in the history, because this show focuses on bringing the top-notch people around the world who have achieved so much in their lives and who are contributing so much for the society, because you and your company QM Quality Matters and INQAAHE are contributing a lot for the society and their development and their betterment. So this will be marked in history, and we really appreciate the time that you have given to us. And we regret that we make you miss your coffee. And but frankly speaking, I'm sure this show is gonna impact a lot of people, and the questions that you answered have given and should give a new food for thought to those people, so that they can take these steps forward. So, what do you think about the show? How did you find this show?
Well, first, I'm honored. I'm honored that I'm the first, and I would say I greatly appreciate the two of you as host because you made it fun. You made it easy. And I'm not sure how interesting quality assurance is to everybody, but you asked excellent questions to really make it seem real and grounded. So kudos to you both.
Thank you. And the Chancellor of ILMA University, Mr. Numan Lakhani, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mansoor Zafadaud, the Registrar, Sayyid Kashir Rafi, heartily extend their felicitations and greetings to you. And they're very thankful on behalf of Board of Governors of ILMA University for you joining this platform and being the first guest of this show. So we are extremely thankful to you for the honor that you have given to us. And well, it's time to wrap up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joining you with another exciting episode of Qtrix soon. Until then, take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Take care, Dave. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Dave. Bye-bye.
I'll go
Thank
have
you.
coffee now.
Yeah, sure.